Hello, good morning, Facebook friends. Glad you can join in another Facebook Live. It's Saturday and wishing you a great weekend. Today I thought about a great topic to share with you. As you're going through the weekend, I want you to reflect about the idea about how your life, how your inspirational life can inspire others by your exemplary leadership, because many of you guys want to make a positive contribution to the world. Many of you guys are thinking about how to empower your team, how to serve your team, how to become a great servant leaders in your organization, in your life, in your community. And I know many of you guys are going to watch this a little bit later, so I want to dive into the topic, as I think all of us, all of our efforts, all of our contribution can serve a great example. The idea came to me as I was reading about Gandhi's life, and someone was asking him many years ago when he was alive, someone was asking him to deliver a message to the United States about nonviolence. And he simply replied to the journalist who was asking him this question. He said, "My life is my message." And I want you to reflect on this as you're thinking about your leadership, your life, how your life can be a message. I think it's the most powerful answer or reply of an exemplary leader such as Gandhi. He definitely led a life of exemplary leadership. And I want you to think about several people that led a life of a great example. I mean, they may have given some great speeches, and they may have said some great things, but their life spoke to millions of people through their own example, through their own practices of servant leadership in their own life. So, I mean, I want you to think about people like John Wooden, the great basketball coach of UCLA. Obviously, as I mentioned, Gandhi was a great example. Martin Luther King Jr., Eleanor Roosevelt, Mother Teresa, the Dalai Lama, all of these people, as I read through their biographies and what they've done, and this is what I'm sharing with you, is that it's not necessarily what they said. It's going back to what they've done in their life and how they really serve people. Servant leadership wasn't around that time, but they knew that their habits, the way they interacted with people, how they added value to people around them was probably the most powerful example of exemplary leadership. And I want to talk to you about that because I think that in all of our areas in our life, there's some great opportunity for us to lead by example and be the model the way and show the way through our own example. And so, sometimes it may not be necessarily what you said, or maybe some of you guys are thinking about a great book title that you're thinking about. I think it's your life that speaks louder than words. What you do on a daily basis, how you are making a positive contribution in the lives of others through a storytelling, through examples of how you are serving someone. If someone asked you, give me an example of what you've done recently to make a positive contribution. How did you do that in your family? How did you do that in your community? How did you do that in your business? I want you to share an example with me, because those are the most powerful things that we can share with the world. And if you haven't done so and you want to lead an exemplary life, is to continue to serve others, to continue to think about opportunities. And people go back to what you've done. People go back to what they see on a daily basis. People go back to, what does this person have done? Your words and your actions got to be in congruence. And I think that's one of the most powerful things about exemplary leaders. As I mentioned, some of those guys that are very well known to all of you, is that they led an exemplary life, and it wasn't an easy life. It wasn't they didn't coast through life. They've had many challenges, but they had a lot of self-awareness and self-actualization, which brought them closer to great servant leadership in the lives that they were leading. I want you to think about a couple of questions as you are reflecting on this topic and how your life can be an example to others. one of the great questions is how do I add value to the people that are around me, whether it's your family, your community, and your business? How do I do so? And again, you don't have to have a leadership title in order to do so. Every one of us makes a contribution in the role that we're playing. Some of us play on a bigger playing field. Some of us are playing on a smaller one. But we all, each of us, can make that contribution. I know people who volunteer. I know people who are in nonprofit organizations, and what they want to do is to continuously add value to other people. And so I want you to think about that. You know, many people stuck on intentional living. What I mean by intentional living is that they are very intentional, but they don't take any action in order to create those moments in their life to be such a great example. Ask yourself, you know, what matters now in my life? What is so important in my life that I always wanted to accomplish in my life? And this is the right time. If you're not doing it now, there is no other time. There's no perfect time for anything. So whatever your dreams are, whatever your aspirations are, and if you want to become a servant leader, this is the time. We need it more than any other time, in my opinion, because we need more people who lead by example, and we can go back to those. And the other question is, how can I deliver beyond what's expected of me? I think that some of us are, you know, when we're thinking about delivering something or creating something around us, we need to be thinking about how to really create excellence. How do I raise the bar in where I'm at, whether it's my business, whether it's my community or my family? How do I continuously raise the bar? And it is moving beyond the intention. It is creating something that people will speak about for years and years and years. So maybe you want to volunteer somewhere. Maybe you want to add value in another area of your life that you're really passionate about. When you're finding your purpose and how to lead, and you're finding the purpose and how to continuously serve people, continuously finding ways to create that, you know, it's not only other people's happiness, but it's also your own happiness. There is a reward in service. There's a great reward of knowing what you've done. The people that I've mentioned dedicated their life. They've paid the highest price, in my opinion, because they led by example, but they paid the highest price in order for them to be, they were considered humanitarian. They were considered people who wanted to add value to humanity, and they wanted to add value to make our world a better place. And it is a noble cause that sometimes in these times, in these days, and that's what I want to turn to you for a call of action. We need more leaders like you. We need people who are wanting to improve our world. We need people who can change the world in a positive way. There's so much negativity out there. There's so much toxic culture out there that we really need to work on in order for us to become better leaders and exemplary leaders in our life. So, hey guys, I appreciate you guys are joining in on another Facebook Live. Feel free to share your comments, feedback with me. And I love to connect with you and get to know you better. So have yourself an amazing weekend. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.